So the Oscar nominations are out, and here are my predictions. I know you're looking at it and you're like, but those are everything that's nominated. Well, let me show you. These are my predictions for who will win. I gave these predictions before the nominations were actually out. So the fix is in. No, I'm kidding. It's just the law of averages and amount of precursors and everything. You can pretty much tell who's going to win nowadays before there are even nominations. The Brutalist is going to win Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor. Demi Moore is going to win Best Actress for The Substance. Kieran Culkin is going to win Best Supporting Actor, probably as a way for Hollywood to pave over how it feels about child actors. It wants to reward that. Anora is going to win for Original Screenplay. Conclave is going to win for Adapted Screenplay. And Emilia Perez is going to give the Academy a whole lot of money and swag and attention that they love, in order for Zoe Saldana to win Best Supporting Actress. It really is that simple. There's going to be a lot of stuff about Emilia Perez and the trans narrative when they go on, blogs and local TV stations to promote the movie and how important it is and blah, blah, blah. It's not important in that regard at all. It's a movie. And then true critics of the LGBTQ alliance and whatnot will point out about how it's just being used as a springboard for politics because it's essentially about a drug lord who goes under transformative surgery so that they can hide from their life of crime, which really gives credence to the phony theories that far-right conservatives have. So it's not really a progressive movie at all. It's just a movie. And then Conclave, that's a decently well done movie from a decent book. And then as for Nora, it's kind of like the most agreeable movie here, honestly. I liked it the most out of all the movies here. And it's kind of like, well, we got to give it something. Let's give it original screenplay. Because it is a really enjoyable movie. It's not amazing. None of the movies here are, although I haven't seen The Brutalist because they refuse to show it still. Maybe after this they'll finally release wide and then make money, and that's A24's plan, and it seems to be working well. It's worked out for them in the past. Are there any major snubs? Not really. I think that maybe Nosferatu could have gotten a nomination for its score. Challengers should have gotten a nomination for its score. Apart from that, it's pretty much gone down to a science, guys. Wicked being nominated, sure. I really look forward to seeing it. Do I think it's going to win? No, but they're going to nominate it anyway. They're going to probably show Defying Gravity at the Oscars because that's like a big moment, and they're just gutting all of the original song performances this year in favor of that. And The Sound of Music, who has its 60th anniversary on that day. A Complete Unknown, true to its name, is just like the movie that gets nominated that maybe might pick up some technical sound nominations or something, because the James Mangold movies tend to have a lot of pull in the technical categories, and they worship and love him, and it's under Searchlight, so they'll have a lot of pull there. And they want it to win something, so that might be a guarantee. And then, you have Dune Part 2 getting nominated, 5 nominations, but, not really showing up in any of the major categories aside from picture. It's a case of the Academy, and somewhat myself, wanting to wait and see, can he pull it off for Dune Messiah? Because I thought watching Dune Part 2 that it lacked closure. And so I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll wait for Part 3. You also have, surprisingly, somewhat, The Apprentice, Sebastian Stan getting nominated. It's kind of cool, a movie with not a lot of money behind it, like The Apprentice can kind of break through. This movie had an uphill battle from its premiere at Cannes, which was divisive. And then, the guy who picked it up, I actually talked to on Twitter, Tom Ortenberg, and he was kind of distributing it when no one else wanted to. In fact, nobody wanted to do press with Sebastian Stan on actors or would touch it because they were afraid of what Trump thought. And you also get the Succession drama of Jeremy Strong being nominated, who's supposedly very good in the film, especially from the clips that I've seen, and Kieran Culkin getting nominated both in supporting actor, which is funny. So really impressive pull by Sebastian Stan for getting a Best Actor nomination while also promoting his other movie, A Better Man, which also got nominated in other categories. Just overall, very impressive work from Sebastian Stan, and I believe he is the first MCU actor to get nominated for an Oscar who wasn't previously. Robert Downey Jr. was nominated for Tropic Thunder and Chaplin before he won for Oppenheimer, but Sebastian Stan is the first person who became famous from the MCU to then get an Oscar nomination. So good for you, Sebastian, for doing real films. So yeah, I think Demi Moore will win for The Substance just because it's probably the most substantive nomination for the actresses there in terms of meatiness of the part, and it's kind of like a career acknowledgement for the Oscar. I hate to admit how long in recent years campaigning has mattered and narratives have mattered. I generally just look at the film, and she is quite good in it as well. Yeah, a lot of this stuff you can see here is about the narrative because everybody is representative of the major companies. You have Netflix giving a lot of money here. You have Neon, who's just been, always snapping up the Palme d'Or at Cannes and riding that to Oscar night. You have Disney and Searchlight. You have Universal and Focus Features. And then you have the movie Universal Turned Down, so The Substance, that was kind of interesting by movie. And then you have, of course, A24 represented here with The Brutalist. So, all major companies, in terms of awards players, get their snack in there. I will say, as somebody who didn't really like Challengers at all, I think that it probably should have been nominated for Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's score, which was by far the best of the year. I also thought Nosferatu's score was good and should have been nominated. Neither of them were. As for its getting snubbed for Compress Repress, I'm not bothered by that because those are like the only two words in that song and it's barely an original song. But the song nominees suck so much this year that they're not even going to nominate them. They're not even going to have them perform, rather. Instead, they'll probably do a 60th anniversary of The Sound of Music, as I said, and, Defying Gravity with Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth showing up while, the nominated actors, Cynthia Erivo getting her second nomination, or third overall, second for acting, and Ariana Grande also nominated. They'll get them to perform that unoriginal song there because it's from the play initially, and then they'll have them show up and everybody will be like, oh my god, and then Sound of Music, a lot of people love that movie, and huge Oscar winner. On to the day that the Oscar ceremony premieres will be the 60th anniversary of the release of that film, so it makes... Of course, it wouldn't be a very good Oscar discussion if I didn't discuss the Best Picture nominated movie, I'm Still Here. This movie was hard to get on my radar just because it reminded me the title is the same as that not super well-reviewed Joaquin Phoenix movie where he tried to torpedo his own career as a practical joke and become a rapper. That was the movie that Casey Affleck directed and kind of got Casey Affleck canceled because he was accused of doing bad things on set of that movie. I won't get into that. But yeah, this isn't totally out of the blue. The lead actress, Fernanda Torres, was nominated and won the Golden Globe against much more popular nominees like Angelina Jolie and Nicole Kidman. But apparently she was the best, and, that's the way to do it. Fernanda Torres also is the daughter of an Oscar-nominated actress, so it's a little kind of generational rhyme there. I look forward to seeing this movie. The director, Walter Salles, is interesting. I think he did The Motorcycle Diaries, or had something to do with that movie. And, another well-regarded Oscar-nominated film, so I'll check that out. And then, of course, you have Amazon's pick, the first-person directed Nickel Boys. This movie is entirely shot from a first-person perspective, and on the Vanity Fair podcast I listen to, they're usually all about punditry and that kind of thing, but the main guy, David Camfield, would not stop talking about this movie any chance that he could get and how great it was. So it's not a surprise for me when, Vanity Fair is shouting its praises that it will show up, especially if it's good, which this apparently is. And I look forward to seeing it on Amazon Prime. Hopefully they don't shove it onto MGM Plus, although that would probably be a better business idea for them. But I want to see it and have a lot of good stuff to see. And I also want to see September 5, which was nominated for a screenplay. So lots to see. Follow me, Film